I'm talking about Afghanistan because the full accounting of who exactly enriched themselves with the unimaginable tragedy of that war in Afghanistan has still not happened. Most Americans don't even know who the worst profiteers of that 20-year war are. To begin with, the top of the U.S. military structure have raked in millions of dollars. But I thought it was called service. I thought those generals were serving their country, not for money, but I thought they were profiting in the soul enrichment and pride that comes with leading the world's largest and bloodiest machine of organized human murder. But it turns out the Pentagon's top generals are not there for soul enrichment. They're there to get filthy rich. The 8 generals who commanded American forces in Afghanistan between 2008 and 2018 have gone on to serve on more than 20 corporate boards. In case that sounds innocent, when a top general is on a corporate board, they get paid insane amounts of money for doing just about nothing. Sounds like being a politician, doesn't it? What does the corporation get out of it? They get to sound all fancy schmancy by running around town going, we have a 4-star general on our board. And they get to make it clear to the current Pentagon higher-ups that they will all be paid handsomely once they've been put out to pasture at the human murder machine. That must be an awkward conversation. Listen, Stanley, you're pushing 70. These young guys coming in, I mean, they're just able to murder people at 2, even 3 times your speed. The whole murder industry has just really picked up speed in the last few years, and last I checked, you were still using a rotary missile launcher. It's time to call it a day and just collect that pension, don't you think? Anyway, paying these generals crazy salaries for doing essentially nothing is basically bribery done after the fact. You see, you hand a 4-star general $500,000 in unmarked bills while he's serving in the Pentagon. That's very illegal. But you hand him that $500,000 after he's completed his time at the Pentagon and done all the favors you've already asked. That's totally legal. Toad's cool. But don't forget to write on the front of the giant cash envelope 4 corporate board duties. That's the other thing you have to do. Actually, sometimes you don't even have to do that. You just call it a consulting fee. As the Washington Post said of these generals who led the completely pointless and catastrophic war in Afghanistan, they have amassed influence within businesses, at universities, and in think tanks, in some cases selling their experience in a conflict that killed an estimated 176,000 people, cost the United States more than $2 trillion, and concluded with the restoration of Taliban rule. While the Washington Post is making the correct point there, those estimates of money and lives are way off. The $2 trillion does not include the $21 trillion of unaccounted for adjustments at the Pentagon during the Afghanistan war years. And that 176,000 killed is probably hundreds of thousands off, considering Brown University's Costs of War project found that the U.S. has killed 6 million people with the global war on terror. Boy, it sounds like when you've been one of the main people responsible for such a horrific display of brutality and crimes against humanity, maybe you shouldn't be made rich by it. Not only did these companies snatch up billions upon billions of dollars to destroy the lives of countless Afghan people and Iraqi people, but they also were waist deep in overcharging, fraud, and abuse. The Congressional Commission on Wartime Contracting found that fraud and abuse totaled $30 to $60 billion in Iraq and Afghanistan. Again, this shouldn't really surprise us. You know the expression, there's no honor among thieves? Well, the U.S. military-industrial complex is basically a large-scale mafia on steroids with little gold bars on their shoulders. They kill like the mafia, they threaten like the mafia, they extort and bribe and pay off like the mafia, and they steal like the mafia.